Okay, here we go. It's another tiresome day. Gonna go to the store and buy some salad supplies so I can make up some chicken salads for the week. I want to talk about meetings because I know that everybody talks about how dreadful and awful and boring and lame and unproductive they are. And I tend to agree. I feel like there is definitely value to be had about having multiple important people in one room at one time talking about something. But you could almost never make a decision in that environment, and you can almost never make any sort of significant progress in that environment either. And so it's like, okay, it has a purpose in this modern working world. It may be unclear at the moment as to what that purpose is, but I also think that we most certainly abuse it in that since my promotion, I feel like I spend a good chunk of my time just in meetings trying to explain these things. And I guess at the end of the day, I shouldn't feel so bad that they want to pay me so much to just sit around in meetings all day. But like, I'm a productive individual. I write books whilst creating cartoons, whilst building my own house, whilst you get the point. And so to be stuck here sitting in a meeting talking about essentially nothing feels like a gross waste of my time. And my boss is talking to me about wanting to set up more meetings, and I'm like, dude, like, the last 3 hours of my day was unproductive because I sat down in this chair and listened to a bunch of people talk about a bunch of crap that's not even a problem and try and solve problems that we don't even have. And it's like, I'm sorry, but that is a waste of my time. And I don't need to be having more meetings. And they're like, oh, what about if it's just a quick 15-minute meeting? There is no such thing as a quick 15-minute meeting. Meetings always run over, and like, you're lucky to have an hour-long meeting and it only be an hour long. And it's like, I have a 15-minute meeting, it's going to last for 30 minutes or longer, and that's just another chunk of time out of my day that is left unproductive. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. That sounds petty, and it sounds uneducated, and it sounds stupid, but at the same time, it's kind of 900% correct. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. That's what Mondays are always like that for me. I spend the last 2.5 hours of my day, if not longer, in meetings, and it's just like, I cannot be doing this. And then, like, they're wondering why things aren't getting done. They're like, oh, where are we with this project? It's like, I would be a lot further along if I didn't have to sit here and talk to you for 2.5 hours about it. And they're always behind with their facts. They don't know what the hey is for, is this going on? And me and the other manager over here having a side conversation. We're like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Didn't we already do this? Why are we doing this again? Why are we still talking about this? Why is this still a thing? So I need someone out there to explain to me, outside of the obvious value of getting multiple minds in one place at one time, like, what is the value of a meeting? And like, I think about, we have this leadership speaker that we have subscribed to, so to speak, and that we bought her program, and we preach anything and everything that she has to say. And it gets me thinking about myself, and I'm like, how could I basically create my own leadership business model and sell that to companies so that they fund me to just talk and give ideas? Like, that lady, I don't know who she is or what she does or what she's done with her life or for a living, but one thing is for sure, she's doing quite well for herself, and all she's doing, for lack of a better term, is selling advice. So it's like, I want to know what she did to get there and do that, because not only do I feel like I could do that, I feel like I could do that significantly better than she does. But like, I think about her little leadership programs and all these things. It's like, where does the value of a meeting fit in her little program when she talks about personalities and everybody is their own unique color and all this great and philosophical crap that doesn't necessarily belong in a workplace? Where does the more practical advice stand? Like, if I were to ask this woman, meetings, how many is a good amount, how many is a bad amount, how long should they be? And does she have a straight answer for me? Is she going to say a meeting should not last any longer than 20 minutes and you shouldn't have any more than 4 meetings a day? And that's a 120 minute, no, that's an 80 minute, can't do math today. It's an 80 minute time commitment to meetings. And like, that seems reasonable. Whereas today I have 2.5 hours. That's like more than a quarter of my day. It's just sitting down and listening to people talk about stuff that we don't need to spend that much time talking about. Like, somebody help me understand the value past the surface value. Or am I completely legitimate in saying that we're way doing overkill and we're beating a dead horse, and like, at some point in time you gotta just let people do their job? And it's just, I don't know, I'm tired of it. And I don't want to be that simpleton that whenever somebody asks about a meeting, I'm just like, no, I do not want to waste any more of my time talking or being spoken to. Like, I'm a man of action, and I will do the things that you ask me to do. But if you want me to sit here and listen to you talk all day, I guess I will do that instead. But you can't have both. You can't be like, oh my gosh, why aren't these things getting done? And then on the same token be like, oh my gosh, let's meet for 2.5 hours about why these things aren't getting done. It's like, you can't, no. Like, you're cutting directly into my time. These things take time, and I can't just, oh, thing's done. If it were that easy, it wouldn't be a problem to begin with. And it just really grinds my gears that is what they want to do, or that's how they want that to happen. And then we always get these great philosophical ideas. They want to send us off to another facility in a bigger city and be like, I want you to see this facility and see what they're doing, and that'll be good for you. It's like, I don't need a field trip. I understand the problems that we have here in-house and how to fix them. I see value in field trips, sure. I see value in figuring out what works for certain people and what doesn't. And I understand why that would be a good thing for us to do. But I ain't gonna sit here and like be like, yes, please, let's go spend our whole day out of here doing our own thing. It's like, no, it's a big old waste of our time. I don't need all of this. I don't need all this stuff. And it's just, I don't know. It inspires me to try and get away from the world that I was in, living the life that I am in, and trying my darndest to get somewhere with my creative adventures, and hoping that something comes of that. And like I said, I feel like I've made substantial strides since having started towards getting somewhere. And so hopefully I can keep making those strides, and hopefully as I progress and continue to better my efforts and myself, something will eventually stick. I will probably start doing like a review program for Dusty Little Wastelanders as well. I already have A Ghost Can Cry on there, but doing another book doesn't hurt. If I can start getting to a place where the advertisements for If Ghosts Could Cry are actually turning a profit, that would be awesome as well. Right now I'm $100 in the hole, which, like, I hate to look at it that way, because like technically any money I've spent on these books at this point have put me in the hole. But you gotta spend money to make money, as they say, and I am just spending and spending away. And it goes to the whole booth thing too. I want to have a booth at this Kansas City Comic-Con next year and try and sell some of my books there. And it's like, how many books do you bring to an event like that? Like, do I bring 100 of each book? Do I bring 50 of each book? And like, the last thing you want is to run out of books. And to the same end, you don't want to you don't want to buy more books than you have to. Because I have to pay to have the books printed, of course. And at that point, I need to try and recoup some of that cost, because you got to pay to get in the booth, you got to pay to print the books, and it's a crappy way to look at it. You don't want to look at it like a business, because it's a creative project, it's something you're passionate about, and with any luck you might have some fun with it too. But if that's all, like if I spend, well, the books alone would be like $500, and if I spend it would be $500 for 100 books. I think it would be significantly more than that, because I have 6 books at this point. So 500 times 6, it would be $3,000 that I would be spending just on printing the books. I need to get on printing bookmarks again, and then from there I need to work on cutting them out and shaping them so that the next time I have an event, I've got plenty of books and things on hand. And like, there's another event this year that I should do in addition to the event that I'm already doing. And so, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It'll be a very interesting year this year. And hopefully I can start getting some traction, and I can start promoting my books and getting people interested in them without having to do so much. Like, you want passive sales, if you will, where you don't have to go to an event just to sell books. You don't have to push out $1 bajillion worth of advertising just to sell books. Like, you can just sell books for the sake of selling books, and you don't have to worry about putting that much effort into it. Like, being an author who puts out a book and automatically gets $50K from it, that is the kind of author that I want to be. Like, if I want to put a whole bunch of extra effort into something, I can, but I don't have to. And I know everybody and their grandma wants something like that, but a lot of people want something but are not able to or willing to put in the work to do it. It's more that they're not willing to, and less that they're not able to. But they convince themselves that they're not able to, and therefore they believe they just can't. It's not going to happen. But more often than not, it's your own inability to do what needs to be done that keeps things from happening. So when you think about it in that way, you can knock out a lot more stuff and get a lot more stuff done. But to the same end, it's a lot of work, and there's a reason why not very many people are out here doing these things. It's because it's hard work. You have to put in the time, dedication, you have to throw away a lot of money at it, and hope that eventually one of these days it goes far enough to where people give a crap. And if they don't, then what? Like, at what point in time do you decide that you've given it the college try and you don't want to try it anymore, and you've got to move on with your life? Does that ever happen? I'm not convinced that it would ever happen to me. At 30, want to start finally going down the road of parenthood, and when I get to that point in my life, like, is that going to have a big enough impact on me that I can no longer pursue these creative adventures the way in which I would like to? I don't know. But there's no way to know for sure, and you've just got to go with what you can go with and continue trying until hopefully someday you succeed. I've got a lot of good plans in place right now to try and get the book turning and burning and get people seeing it and get people caring about it. But until it actually starts doing that, it's going to be very difficult to do anything and to get anywhere, or to motivate myself to do anything and get anywhere. That's the key factor here, is the motivation, or the lack thereof. When I'm not reaping any reward from what I'm doing, when I'm not seeing any reward from what I'm doing, outside of maybe the general satisfaction of having done it, and what else or whatever else comes from that, it's not motivation enough to make me just be always wanting to continue doing this. And it's exhausting, and it's not a healthy or fun way to be, but it's also realistic and me being real with myself. And like, these videos are a key example of that. As of recording this, I have gotten no major feedback or progress on my YouTube channel for having done these videos. And so at that point, it's like, why am I doing them? Why do I continue to make these videos when I'm getting nothing for it? And part of it's kind of difficult because I am judging my progress by 2 months worth of work, when the reality of it is you've got to be doing this kind of stuff for years. Like, you got to put yourself out there for years before people start to notice. And like, I feel like I have been putting myself out there at least since the summer of 2022 on Instagram, and I've still not gotten very far for it. And like, I've almost more or less let my Instagram die at this point. I don't upload daily anymore. I'm not in the mood to upload daily anymore. I don't have content to upload every day. And the content that I would have to upload every day is a hot piece of garbage. And so now I'm just not in the mood to do that. So I don't. And I've got like some good ideas on what I want to do with this new brand of content on there. But like, these things take time and effort, and I don't have all the time in the world to put towards all the things that I need to put towards the things. Like, when you're working 8 hours a day, it's very difficult to put the proper amount of time to succeed at these things, because they are in and of themselves an 8-hour job. And so it's like having a second job. And like, I have this buddy, he's a good buddy of mine. I'm not trying to speak ill on the guy or anything, but he works 20 hours a week, half the time that I do. He has a lot more time and effort on his hands to put on these things. I do not have that. And I am not a fan of excuses. I hate excuses, and I don't mean to make excuses and be like, I ain't got the same kind of time they do, that's why I can't do it. I'm not saying that's why I can't do it. I'm saying that's one more thing that makes doing it a little bit more difficult for me than it would for your average bear. And that is what I'm identifying to hopefully allow myself to succeed better. And I forgot to go to the grocery store, so I'm actually going to turn all the way around in this silly little roundabout and head the opposite way, because that's what I was supposed to have done at the first roundabout. But at least I caught it before I got all the way home. And like, I don't have like a full-blown migraine right now, but I keep feeling the feelings of one in the back of my head, and I think it's just because there's so much talking and thinking that's been going down on this last half of my day, and it's bright outside, and I'm grumpy. And so I think that I will just hopefully eat some food and be good. I can't really afford to go to sleep right now. I've been having a lot of premature sleeping days, and those really ruin me. I am like in desperate need of my max productivity, and I just go to sleep every time. And so hopefully I can get somewhere with the books, and hopefully I can, this vacations are so nice, but they throw me for a loop. And I really was hoping that I could have taken today off and just reset my whole weekend because of it. Because now I'm just behind the 8 ball on all my personal stuff. And like I came in late and that was not very helpful. But it is what it is, and just another motivator of trying to do my own thing. And it's never because I hate my job, it is because I want my time back. Like, I am convinced that I could make enough money to live off of in half the time. And like, that would be an interesting thing. Like, if I could just say, hey, can I have literally half my salary if I work half the time that I'm supposed to work? And see what they say. And if they say no, they say no. But it's like, I can't be doing this all the dang time. I need my time back, because when I have 8 hours of time off, I can get so much done. I am so productive, and I'm so good at doing what I need to do. And I just wish that I were there already, or at least some semblance of there, some resemblance of being there or getting there. But anyway, it's been a while. It's been a day. I hope you guys have a good one. I hope my efforts are not in vain. Have a good one. Goodbye.